government studying Ocean Infinity's proposal to resume MH370 search. Pulau Pinang unveils plan for integrated circuit design and digital park. Hello, good evening and salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm SAHIH and you're watching Malaysia Tonight. The government's decision to raise the salaries of civil servants despite the country's uncertain economic situation is in appreciation of the contributions of public sector workers, including security forces and firefighters of the country. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said civil servants, including the security forces and firemen, are at the forefront of the management to ensure peace whenever the country faces disasters and untoward events.
Dia kata mengapa dalam keadaan ekonomi sekarang kerajaan pilih untuk naikkan allowance dan gaji, naikkan gaji dan upah penjawat awam. Dia lupa negara ini aman, negara ini selamat dari kebakaran, dari tanah runtuh, semuanya kerana perkhidmatan dan pengorbanan. Maka kita ada masa iktiraf.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this is when officiating the celebration of International Firefighters Day 2024. The Premier further expressed his commitment to work on allocations for the purpose of ensuring the welfare of the National Security Forces. In the meantime, he called on the JBPM team to continue to excel and step up its preparedness to help maintain national security and the well-being of the people. Now, construction work on the East Coast Rail Link ECRL project in Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang and Selangor has reached an average of 65% as of April. Transport Minister Anthony Loke said that in Selangor particularly, the project has progressed by more than 26% up to last month, in line with the schedule for the preparation of the ECRL line from Gombak to Port Klang in December 2027, with operations set to begin in January 2028.
Dari segi track laying ataupun peletakan landasan itu telah mencapai lebih 100 km. Sebab setiap hari seperti yang dikatakan, dia boleh mencapai 1.5 km, 1.5 km every day, setiap hari. Sebab dia menggunakan mesin yang agak canggih, dapat mengurangkan masa untuk kita letakkan landasan.
He said the Surendah area will become the main station to connect the Port Klang and East Coast routes, thus making the area an important logistic hub. He noted that ECRL line, which crosses Selangor, can spur the tourism, hospitality and business sector in Batang Kali, which also has the potential to become a railway transport centre to drive the industry. This can be achieved with the construction of Pintasan Surendah to Port Klang, which includes standard gauge tracks for ECRL and meter gauge tracks for KTMB, thus strengthening the competitiveness of rail freight transport as well as the logistics sector and local cargo handling. On another note, Loke said the government is currently studying the proposal from marine robotics company Ocean Infinity to resume the search for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370, which went missing while en route to Beijing 10 years ago. He said that based on discussion held on Thursday, the company had submitted a proposal paper along with the evidence and information for examination by the relevant parties under his ministry. He said that the matter would need to be presented to the Cabinet before an agreement is finalised between the government and Ocean Infinity, and anticipated that the process would take about 3 months to complete.
Saya tak boleh mendahului Kabinet sekarang. Saya kata dia bersedia, prepared to commence search operation by November. Jadi kita ke arah ke sana, kita perlu buat beberapa langkah. Antaranya ialah kita perlu bincang lanjut maklumat yang diberikan, dan juga perlu ada satu perjanjian, ada satu agreement antara kerajaan Malaysia dengan Ocean Infinity, sebab ini melibatkan implikasi kewangan sekiranya pesawat itu dapat dicari. Jadi ia memerlukan kelulusan Kabinet untuk kita mulakan misi pencarian ini.
Yesterday, the Association for Families of the Passengers and Crew on board MH370 revealed on its Facebook page that Ocean Infinity had submitted a proposal to revive the search to Loke. The company proposed that the search be carried out on a no-fine, no-fee basis. The Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia (CAAM) has confirmed that a Cessna 172N Skyhawk aircraft with the registration number 9M-ADA crashed near Felda Gunung Besut, Sungkai, Perak today. The plane, with 2 survivors on board and operated by Layang Layang Flying Academy, took off from Sultan Azlan Shah Airport, Ipoh at 7:54 a.m. and the Kuala Lumpur Air Traffic Control Centre (KLATCC) received its last transmission over Slim River at 9:35 a.m. CAAM Chief Executive Officer Datuk Captain Nur Azman Mahamud said due action was taken by the duty controller when the aircraft failed to make a position report over Bido. Elaborating through a statement released today, he said the Kuala Lumpur Aeronautical Rescue Coordination Centre (KLARCC) at the KLATCC was activated at 10:15 a.m. upon receiving information on the crash for the coordination of rescue operations, and both persons were rescued. He added that further investigation would be conducted by the Air Accident Investigation Bureau (AAIB) under the Ministry of Transport in accordance with Part 26 of the Civil Aviation Regulations 2016. According to Perak Police Chief Datuk Sri Muhammad Yusri Hassan Basri, the flight instructor and trainee of the training aircraft have been identified as Captain Shahrul Imran Surya, 26, and Ho Jia Lee, 20. Shahrul Imran, who lives in Jalan Jelatik, Kuala Lumpur, is suspected of having a broken right leg, while Ho, who lives in Lahad, Perak, has swelling on the right side of her face. Malaysia's latest position in the Press Freedom Index is still considered good compared to the previous government. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil said that although Malaysia was ranked 107th based on the 2024 World Press Freedom Index report published by Reporters Without Borders (RSF) yesterday, the position was not that bad. Fahmi was commenting on the 2024 World Press Freedom Index report, which showed Malaysia's position in the World Press Freedom Index fell 34 places to 107th position compared to 73 last year, with a score of 52.07 points. On the strategy to improve press freedom, Fahmi said he and RSF agreed to hold a series of meetings and discussion to deal with fake news or the spread of false information in the country.
Saya merupakan Menteri Komunikasi yang pertama yang bertemu dengan pihak RSF, wartawan tanpa sepadan, dan kita telah bersetuju untuk mengadakan siri pertemuan perbincangan untuk kita meneliti cara-cara yang lebih baik untuk menangani berita palsu ataupun sebaran maklumat yang tidak benar. Dan mereka telah memberi komitmen, jadi insya-Allah dalam masa yang tak terlalu lama kita akan adakan pertemuan susulan, dan saya macam saya sebut semalam, saya terima laporan ini dengan hati terbuka.
Fahmi reiterated that the government will not compromise with any party that abuses the concept of press freedom by touching on the 3R issue, race, religion and royalty, besides spreading slander and fake news. He said this was because there were some parties who deliberately played on the 3R issue after the formation of the unity government. Up next in the business segment, ASNB's RIA achieves more than 6 million ringgit investments. The Pulau Pinang State Government has unveiled its plan to establish an integrated circuit IC design and digital park, which offers a total of 1.0 million square feet of premium office space to attract and house high-impact projects. Chief Minister Chow Kon Yeow said these developments will further solidify Pulau Pinang's position as a preferred investment destination for businesses and entrepreneurs in these sectors. He highlighted that in the past, the state has established its own GBS buildings, which are the first of their kind in Malaysia, namely GBS at Mayang and GBS at Mahsuri, signifying the state's commitment towards a robust ecosystem for digital innovation. He noted that Pulau Pinang currently hosts 200 Malaysia digital status companies, predominantly from foreign direct investment, showcasing the state's attractiveness in the sector. Chow also said that the state is committed to providing exceptional infrastructure, conducive facilities and attractive amenities to strengthen the state's pioneer position in the IC design and digital industries. The Malacca State Government is setting its sight on bolstering its local business landscape by encouraging more companies in the state to be listed on Bursa Malaysia. Deputy Exco of Economic Planning, Finance, Land Affairs, Non-Governmental Agencies, Investment, Industrial and Technical and Vocational Development TVET, Datuk Hadiriah Abu Zahar, said that currently only 23 local companies in the state are public listed companies PLCS. She said that Malacca State Government always provides strong support to any programs which are aimed at enhancing business opportunities, especially for local entrepreneurs and companies registered and based in the state. She said the state government wants these companies to thrive, and this cannot be achieved without the assistance of other parties such as the state government and financial institutions. Datuk Hadiriah highlighted that the advancement of these companies not only benefits the organizations and their employees but also has a positive ripple effect throughout the economy, ultimately benefiting the broader community. Amanah Saham Nasional Berhad's ASNB's robo-investment advisor RIA has attracted more than 6 million ringgit in total investment as of 2nd May. The Unit Trust and Digital Investment Management arm of PNB introduced RIA by the My ASNB app in March this year. ASNB Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director Muzaffar Othman said that approximately 60,000 of My ASNB app's 3 million users had registered with RIA, and between 16,000 and 17,000 of them have made investment totaling more than 6 million ringgit. According to ASNB, RIA provides an automatic portfolio selection consisting of ASNB Sharia-compliant funds based on the individual's risk assessment. With its intuitive risk profiling and automatic rebalancing portfolio over time, RIA makes investing accessible to everyone, regardless of their level of experience or financial background. Muzaffar said ASNB offers an interactive experience for consumers to learn more about RIA, aiming to inspire and educate Malaysians about the importance of investing and how easy it can be. By providing hands-on experience and valuable insight, he said, ASNB empowers individuals to embark on their investment journey with confidence. A total of 10.4 million job opportunities have been offered through the My Future Jobs portal operated by the social security organisation Perkeso from the year 2020 to April 2024. Human Resources Ministry Kasuma Deputy Secretary General for Operations Sutekno Ahmad Belon said that during the same period, 1.03 million individuals successfully gained employment through the platform. He said Kasuma and Perkeso are committed to strengthening the country's labour market and workforce by increasing access to job opportunities through the organisation of open interviews and employability programs. He said that besides helping unemployed individuals and graduates find jobs, the My Future Jobs portal also provides job matching based on the individual's qualification and skills. Perkeso has also introduced the My Future Jobs satellite centres to widen the accessibility of services for job seekers, especially those from rural communities. To date, there are 293 My Future Jobs satellite centres nationwide, including 13 in Kelantan. Sutekno said the Career Exploration Program was also launched in Kelantan to help secondary school students, especially those in Form 3 to Form 5, find suitable career paths through counselling sessions and psychometric tests. He said the program focuses on 10 schools under YIG supervision involving 100 students. A holistic approach is needed to reform the development of technical and vocational education and training TVET in Malaysia. Yayasan Mahir Malaysia President Datuk P. Sri Ganesh said the country needed integration and synergy, focusing on talent development based on innovators instead of end users during the Fourth Industrial Revolution. According to him, commercial companies that are not education-based are more inclined to develop their products and build brands by training talents that suit their organization's needs, adding that the talent development should be sustainable and not consumer-centric. He also said the government, through the Manpower Department, should act as an intermediary between the industry and large companies to meet current needs. He said certified centres or TVET colleges conduct programs based on the National Occupational Skills Standard (NOSS) developed by the Department of Skills Development, the agency responsible for setting job standards in Malaysia under the Human Resources Ministry. Therefore, the President noted that it is crucial to ensure that local workforce has adequate and high-quality skills to attract foreign investors and lead sectors that will have high impact in the future. Coming up in the foreign segment, at least 15 dead in Indonesia landslide, floods. Israeli forces today were conducting a raid in the town of Deir al-Ghussun near Tulkam, Palestine, surrounding a house and partially demolishing it. Continuous exchange of fire could be heard in the area during the operation, which started overnight and continued through the morning. Violence in the West Bank had already been on the rise before the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza began in October. It has risen further with frequent Israeli raids, Palestinian street attacks and rampages by Jewish settlers in Palestinian villages. The West Bank and Gaza are among the territories which the Palestinians seek for an independent state. US-brokered peace talks broke down a decade ago. Earlier, Britain has announced sanctions on 4 Israeli settlers and 2 groups over violence in the West Bank. The sanctions follow what the Foreign Ministry in London called an unprecedented rise in settler violence over the past year. The new curbs, which follow an earlier package in February, include UK asset freezes and travel and visa bans. Israel has occupied the West Bank, home to 3 million Palestinians since 1967, and around 490,000 Israeli settlers live there in communities considered illegal under international law. Landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rains in Indonesia's South Sulawesi province have killed at least 15 people after dozens of homes were swept away and roads damaged. Indonesia is prone to landslides during the rainy season, which began in January, with the problem aggravated in some areas by deforestation and prolonged downpours caused floods in parts of the country that comprises 17,000 islands. Spokesperson of Indonesia's Disaster Mitigation Agency, BNPB, Abdul Muhari, in a statement today said the landslide struck Luwu Regency in South Sulawesi on Friday. He added that a total of 14 residents died due to floods and landslides in Luwu Regency. In another area of South Sulawesi, he said at least 1 person died and 2 others were injured. According to BNPB, more than 100 houses were seriously damaged and 42 were swept away, while 4 roads and 1 bridge were damaged. Some 115 people were evacuated to mosques or relatives' home, and more than 1,300 families were affected, with authorities trying to evacuate them. In recent days, several Indonesian cities also reported extreme heat, but the country's weather bureau, BMKG, said the rising temperatures were not part of a heat wave currently sweeping much of the Southeast Asian region. More than 100 temperature records fell across Vietnam in April, according to official data, as a deadly heat wave scorches South and Southeast Asia. Scientists have long warned that human-induced climate change will produce more frequent, longer and intense heat waves. Extreme heat has blasted Asia from India to the Philippines in recent weeks, triggering heatstroke death, school closures and desperate prayers for cooling rain. Vietnam saw 3 waves of high temperatures in April, according to data published Friday by the National Centre for Hydrometeorological Forecasting, with the mercury peaking at 44 degrees Celsius in 2 towns earlier this week. The mark is only slightly below the highest temperature ever recorded in Vietnam, 44.2 degrees Celsius on 7th May last year. In all, 102 weather stations saw record highs in April, as northern and central Vietnam bore the brunt of the heat wave, with temperatures on average 2 to 4 degrees Celsius higher than during the same period last year. The most dramatic sign of the extreme weather hitting Vietnam came in the southern province of Dong Nai, where hundreds of thousands of fish died in a reservoir. The mass die-off was blamed on water shortages caused by the heatwave and poor management. Coming up in sports, Japan beat Uzbekistan to become first 2-time champions of Under-23 Asian Cup. National track cycling ace Dato' Muhammad Azizul Hasni Awang showed that he was in a class of his own by winning gold in both the sprint and keirin events at the ASEAN Track Series race at the Malaysian National Velodrome last night. The pocket rocket man grabbed his first goal through the sprint event by beating fellow national rider Muhammad Ridwan Saharum in the final. The 2020 Tokyo Olympics keirin silver medalist clinched his second goal by dominating the keirin final, leaving national cyclist Ahmad Safwan Ahmad Nazari and Indonesia's Dika Alif Detangka in second and third places respectively. This was the first competitive race for the 2017 World Keirin Champion since winning bronze in Keirin at the 2024 Australian National Championship in early March and served as the perfect motivation for his training and competition in Japan this month. Dato' Azizul Hasni said that in Japan he would also continue more intensive training before returning home to prepare for the National Track Cycling Championship from 20 to 24th May. Meanwhile, in the women's competition, young national track cycling star Nurul Izzah Izzati Muhammad Asri also powered her way to goal in both sprint and Keirin. National women's squash player Siva Sangari will be looking to put all distractions aside as she bids to continue her recent outstanding form and emulate legendary compatriot Dato' Nicole David by winning the upcoming World Championship in Cairo between 9 to 18th May. Siva Sangari, who's recently reached a career high ranking of world number 11, produced the squash of her life to lift the gold-level London Squash Classic trophy at Alexandra Palace last month, which happened to be the biggest prize of her professional career to date. However, with these recent successes have come the inevitable comparisons to 8-time world champion and former world number 1 Dato' Nicole, who is widely regarded as the greatest women's player in the history of the sport. Siva Sangari said she is working with the coach Jesse Engelbrecht to put all of distractions aside as she could only control what she in control of. PSA World Tour informed that Siva Sangari have been named as the PSA World Tour Players of the Month for March and April after she received 65% of the votes to take the award in a poll on the PSA World Tour's Instagram page with Satomi Watanabe and Nuran Goha, the other nominees. Moving on to football, Japan have become the first two-time champions of the AFC Under-23 Asian Cup after beating Uzbekistan 1-0 in a thrilling final at Jassim bin Hamad Stadium early this morning. In a keenly contested affair between one of the continent's heavyweights in Japan and the tournament's informed side Uzbekistan, who had conceded 14 goals while conceding none from 5 wins ahead of the final, both sides were unable to find a breakthrough in the 90th minutes, but drama was to follow just as extra time beckoned. In the first minute of injury time, the deadlock was finally broken when Uzbekistan lost possession just inside their own half to allow Japan to quickly hit forward, where a delightful flick from Rotaro Araki would release Fuki Yamada to drill a precise low-effort pass Abdulhovik Nematov in the bottom corner. But 9 minutes later, the Uzbek had the perfect opportunity to pull level when they were awarded a penalty for handball upon VAR review, only for Japan goalkeeper Leo Kokubo to pull off a fine save to deny Umarali Rakamonolev and preserve the win and the crown for his team. Al Hilal earned a comfortable 3-0 win away to Al Tawun in the Saudi Pro League last night. Serbian striker Alexander Mitrovic netted his 23rd goal of the league campaign to give the visitors the lead 5 minutes before the break. Fullback Saud Abdul Hamid made it a 2-goal cushion in the 70th minute before Saleh Al-Shehri put the result beyond doubt with a third in stoppage time. The result sees Al Hilal remain unbeaten this season with 27 wins and 2 draws. They sit 12 points clear of second place Al Nassr at the top of the league with 5 matches remaining. Al Tawun, meanwhile, sit in 4th place, trailing Al Ahli in 3rd by 4 points. In tennis, Andrei Rublev reached his first Madrid Open final with a 6-4, 6-3 win over American Taylor Fritz as the Russian 7th seed continued his return to form at the clay court tournament. Rublev, the highest seed left in the tournament at the semi-final stage, survived an early wobble to see off the 12th seed and was all smiles after his straight sets win. He will now be favourite to claim his 2nd title of the year. Fritz broke serve in the opening game with the Russian showing early signs of frustration, but Rublev composed himself to break back immediately and ended the set winning 2 games to love to take the opener. The second set went with serve until Rublev broke to lead 4-2 and it ended in a similar vein to the first, this time the Russian winning his final 2 service games to love, closing the gap in their head-to-head record with 4 wins and 5 losses. Rublev came into the tournament on a 4-match losing streak but has eased into the final, knocking out 2nd seed Carlos Alcaraz on the way when he faced unseeded Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime for the title, who qualified after Czech 30th seed Jiří Lečáka retired from the other semi due to a suspected back injury. That concludes this edition of Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, government studying Ocean Infinity's proposal to resume MH370 search. Till then, I'm SAHIH from the river to the sea. Pulse Tide will be free. Thank you for watching and good night.